Hi friends, in my last video on the Super 6 Enemies 2 episode, I shared my thoughts and which of these 6 enemies can cause the greatest downfall, or any enemy can cause the downfall. Those thoughts I shared with a story. At the end, I shared one thought for you to ponder, that which many of us get a doubt. If these are mentioned as enemies, what are those 6 things, 6 enemies? Desire, anger, selfishness, obsession, ego, and jealousy. These are mentioned as enemies, greatest enemies, internal enemies. Then naturally we get a doubt, is desire purely bad? Is anger purely bad? These things have no place in our life. Then in that case, why the God, or by whatever name you call it, universe, nature, whatever it is, has given to us these qualities? And of course, we have not made it. You and I have not manufactured desire, anger, or other things. They came with us. We are something like born with them. It is a total package. There is no choice for you to choose or not to choose. That is why I am using the word they are given to us by someone. I choose to call it God, and you may choose to call it with a different name, but that is what it is. Then the question is, have they any rightful place in our life? These 6 qualities, which are categorized and told as 6 great enemies to be conquered, have they any place in our life, rightful place in our life? They have. They have. It is interesting. We are saying they are our enemies, but still we love those enemies. It's a peculiar thing, isn't it? Normally you fight with enemies, you hate them, but these are the enemies we always keep with us. We never want to part with them. What does it mean? Almost we love them. Then how to understand this riddle? Are they good or bad? That is the ultimate question. When they say enemy, it appears to be that they are bad. But do you think all your enemies are bad? Need not necessarily be. They are your enemies for a reason, in a context. I don't want to make this subject more complicated, but the thing is, these enemies or qualities have got a definite place in our life. Then when they are good, when they are bad, how to understand it? How to make use of it? That is very important, and important thing to think, contemplate and understand. Let us take first desire. Is desire bad? And Lord Gautama Buddha said, desire is the root cause of suffering. If you want freedom from suffering, root out the desire, completely destroy it. That is what Gautama Buddha said. That is relevant and maybe for achieving higher levels of existence. Many sages followed that, and Buddha is also one of them. But we are not sages. We are normal people. But still we want to be good. We want to be on the right path. There is nothing wrong about it. All people cannot become sages, need not become sages. If you live your life well, on the right path, that is good enough achievement. So for that we must understand what makes the difference between good and bad. A good desire, a bad desire. A good anger, bad anger. Maybe I am coining rather infrequent or not much used words, but still it is very important to use such words for the sake of clarity. What I am calling is a good anger. First let us come to desire. What is a good desire? What is a bad desire? I will tell you one example. Before giving that example, what our great Maharshis and sages have already prescribed certain principles, certain standards for you, so that you can easily know and follow. What they said is, our Maharshis, they never asked you to destroy these enemies. You note that very important difference. They have asked you to win over the enemies, to conquer the enemies, to keep them in your control. That only they said. Very important distinction that we must note. So, we are not rooting out the desires, anger. But then, what to do? Maharshis prescribed just one principle. Dharma. Follow dharma, they said. Our Maharshis, the greatest important point to note in their teachings is, they don't say in so many words as I am speaking. They used to say very briefly, very tersely, just in one word or in one sentence. That one sentence is called sutra. Sutra means principle. They just gave a principle. Apply your mind and unravel the whole story and follow that. That is the approach they followed, our Maharshis. But nowadays, such type of teaching is very difficult to follow. Such type of understanding is rare to be seen. So we have to say in so many words, there is no other alternative. And sometimes Maharshis not even spoken a single word. They just gave a hint by their looks, by their actions. Just as in my last episode, I told you how the Guru cleared the doubts of his Sishyas regarding which enemy causes the fastest or the greatest downfall, and which enemy of these 6 enemies which is most dangerous. What he did? He did not answer in so many words. Just by his actions, He showed it. If you want to know that story, you can follow my last episode. I will provide the link here below this video. What is that principle? Simply they said, follow dharma. That is the sutra they have given. That means what? Okay, dharma may be a very heavy word for many people. So I would like to make it simple and use a word which you can easily understand. I use the word happiness. Follow happiness. What I mean by that? Happiness means your happiness and happiness of people around you and happiness of all the people in general. So, if you have a desire, you just ask yourself, is this desire gives happiness to me? First question, yes. Fine. Second question, then you ask, is this desire, my desire, and what I am going to fulfill this desire, going to harm anyone, cause harm anyone? Is my attempt to fulfill my happiness is at the cost of the happiness of the people around me? Maybe my immediate family or my friends or some significant one in your life. If your happiness is at the cost of happiness someone close to you, then it is not real happiness. Why? Because at the cost of others, you may try to fulfill your desire and maybe you are happy. But that happiness is only a short term and short lived. Why? Just think coolly, can you really be happy if someone close to you is unhappy because of you, not because of something else? Because of you, if someone close to you is unhappy, can you be really happy? Suppose in the town you are the richest person and you have grown your business to super heights at the cost of the business of all the people in the town. Their business were lost. They lost everything. They are living in poverty and unhappiness. Then, will you be really able to be happy? Suppose you think you don't care for others, what happens to others. I am happy with all my possessions and luxuries. Logically speaking, even that is not correct. Why? Because everyone in the town, in the businesses, have a grudge against you. Because you have stolen their pleasure, you have stolen their happiness, you have stolen their businesses. Then just imagine what sort of grudge they must be holding against you. They may be calm, but what about their young boys, children who are in hot blood and they know that you are responsible for their growth in poverty. You are standing a great risk. This is an extreme example. Similar to that only, if you are getting happiness at the cost of the people close to you, definitely they will harbor a grudge against you. At every occasion, they try to cause inconvenience to you. After all, human happiness is indivisible. In economics, we say poverty anywhere is a threat to prosperity everywhere. That is a principle applies not only in economics, in your life, daily life it applies. So, the thing is, desire per se is not bad. But if you follow dharma, my example, my translation word, if you follow the right path of happiness and fulfill your desire, not at the cost of others, but with others, then it's not bad. Then about the second quality or enemy, krodha, anger. How can the anger do good? Desire we can understand, okay. But how can the anger is helpful in our life? Yes, it is. Just understand, Rama got anger against Ravana. He killed him. Is that anger bad? Pandavas in Mahabharata got angry over Duryodhana and Kauravas. In the war that proceeded, Pandavas destroyed Kauravas. Is that anger bad? It is not the anger directed against a person or persons. Please try to observe deeply. Rama's fight against Ravana is not against a person. It is against adharma, injustice. Rama fought for dharma. If necessary, Ravana is on adharma side, then he has to be killed. He has to perish. Same thing happened to Kauravas. Pandavas fought for justice against injustice. So if your anger is for a right cause and in right proportions, then nothing bad. It is good. We can't say in a negative way it is not bad. It is good. Anger must be there against injustice. You must do whatever you can to protect justice in the right way. Then when it becomes enemy, when your anger becomes your enemy, simple, uncontrolled anger. That means your anger conquered you. You are not in control of your anger. Then uncontrolled anger can cause untold devastation. It can destroy lives. Do you think the prisoners facing life sentence in jails are all bad people? No. You must know that many of those who are convicted for murder and languishing in the jails for life did that cruel act just in a fit of anger, uncontrolled anger. One act of uncontrolled anger destroyed their entire life, not only their life, the life of their family and their dependents. The happiness and the prestige, the name, everything their families got destroyed in one act committed in uncontrolled anger. So that is the power of anger uncontrolled. So be careful about it. That is very important to know, understand, and keep it under the control. Conquering anger means anger is always in your control. You command your anger. When you get an anger, that is for a reason and in the right proportions, so that it can achieve the purpose for which it is meant. Then that enemy becomes your friend, under your control. Then the next enemy or the next quality is lobha, that is selfishness. What about selfishness? Can there be a good selfishness? Yes, of course. We don't call it selfishness, self-interest. Self-interest is not bad. The positive side or the good side of selfishness is self-interest. There is nothing wrong in taking care of your self-interest. When we call self-interest, it automatically implies that it is not at the cost of others. When your interest you find in not in the interest of someone close to you or your family, then that is not self-interest, it is selfishness. The nature has changed. Your friend has become your enemy. So, self-interest means your interest, not at the cost of others' interest. Simple is one, principle is same. It can be applied anywhere. But you must understand and put to the right application. That's it. So, there is nothing wrong in having your self-interest. Only thing is, you are called selfish when you don't care for the self-interest of others. You care only for your interest and neglect others' interest, and you do things that are against the interest of others only to further your self-interest. Now, the next enemy, obsession or moha it is called, obsession. How can the obsession be your friend? You will get it out. True. But there is a positive side of obsession. That is what we call passion. Obsession and passion look alike, but they are entirely different. They have similar qualities. A person is obsessed with someone or something, want to get it at any cost. He doesn't care about what happens to others, what harm it causes to others. That is obsession. That is bad. That is definitely an enemy. You have to win over it. You have to conquer it and keep in your control. Then it becomes your passion. In passion also, passion with something, some art, something to do. Develop some quality. Art, dance, music, whatever it is, passion. In passion also, you are after it day in and day out. You are ready even to die for it. But you won't kill anyone for your passion. That is the difference between obsession and passion. If you are obsessed, you are ready to die for it or even kill the other person for it. That is wrong, that is bad. Your passion is, you are in your control. When you are in a passion, you are in your control. Though you may be after it and devoted to it, you are not lost in it. So passion is good. Passion gives you the purpose of life. Many people realize their life, and in psychology, Abraham Maslow calls it a stage of self-actualization. Beyond the physical security and social recognition needs, the ultimate stage of need hierarchy is self-actualization. Passion is nothing but that only. Passion. So, from the positive side, passion is your friend, obsession is your enemy. Next one is an interesting enemy. The so-called hero of our life, but in fact the villain of our life. Khalnayak, Pratinayaka. What is that? Ego. Every one of us loves ego, loves to keep it, loves to follow it. But that is the biggest enemy that ruins our life, ruins our relations in family, with friends, with relatives, with everyone. It ruins your relations. The ego, that is called mada, ego. And the peculiarity is, everyone knows that ego is bad. But most people don't even want to lose that one. They advance a peculiar argument. I am not egoistic. He is more egoistic than me. And if you are not egoistic, everybody will dominate you. All sorts of peculiar arguments we advance and try to keep our ego intact, but with no use. Everyone easily can see the ego of other person. However much you try to hide it and pass it as your self-respect, you can't hide that enemy ego. Here comes the right part. Like desire, is the ego bad? Yes and no. Because there are two aspects of it, positive and negative. The positive side of your ego is your self-respect. You must protect and guard under all circumstances. You must have self-respect. Your essence is self-respect. Keep it. Fight for it, die for it. But ego is not self-respect. In self-respect, you respect yourself and you respect others also. You know and realize that the self-respect of others, your friends, your family members, your relatives, is as important, at least, if not more important than your self-respect. Then that is self-respect. What happens in ego? Ego means your self-respect is self-respect. Only your respect is your respect. Others, you don't care. You don't respect their dignity. You don't respect their rightful self-respect. You don't care for it. Then that is ego. And ego is the single biggest cause of ruination of all relationships. Whether they are the relationship within your close family, with your friends, with your relatives, or anyone. That is the single biggest cause of destruction of all relationships and all your happiness. That is the most commonest enemy which you find everywhere, in almost every person. So, be very careful about it. Review yourself. What you are showing and what you are doing is your self-respect or ego. Now here we come to the last enemy, jealousy, called Matsarya. And you will wonder, all the things up to now are okay. How can the jealousy be good and bad? I will tell you. There is a positive side of jealousy also. Just imagine, you are competing with some person in art, music, dance. You are competing. That aspect of competition and compete in the right way, achieve higher things, greater excellence. This is the positive side of jealousy. You must have that competitive spirit, you can call it. The positive side of jealousy, you can call it as competitive spirit. Excellence, striving for excellence. By looking at others who have achieved more, who are at a higher level, you must get an inspiration like thing, a fire, a drive to reach them. That is the positive side of jealousy. You must have it. To achieve higher things in life, to strive for excellence and perfection. That's good. And the negative side, of course, everyone knows it. Whenever we say jealousy, we know it from the negative side only. If you are jealous, you are burning with jealousy, you are destroying yourself, you are not achieving anything. Just you are thinking how to, instead of improving your performance and striving for excellence, they try to adopt all sorts of nasty tactics and manipulations to destroy the other person with whom they are feeling jealousy. That is the sad part of jealousy. So beware of it. Jealousy is like a poison that eats away your entire peace of mind and harmony, and you don't achieve anything. Because if you want to achieve excellence, you have to work hard, strive for it, work for it. There is no use of feeling jealousy of others. Competition. Even competition is not with others. Your only competition is with yourself. You try to review yourself. You try to better yourself. If you are a little better today than yesterday, if you learnt a 1 point today compared to yesterday, That is wonderful. That is the positive part of jealousy, competitive spirit. You can have it. So that is how I sum up the super six enemies and their role and their positive and negative sides, and how they are important in our life. Why we should conquer them and keep in our control. So with that, I close my talk today, and I invite your comments and suggestions and any other topics you want me to speak on. And if you have any questions, they are most welcome. Thank you. Thank you.